Good morning, Abby. You ready for all of that? Are you ready for breakfast?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hello everyone, welcome back to the homestead. Today's video is going to be another what we eat in a day video. Been trying to do one video like this per month because there just seems to be a lot of interest by many of our viewers about what we eat. I know it's an interest of a lot of people these days with all that's been going on in the world. It's been a lot of motivation for people to get healthy and to grow their own food. For those who don't know, we are a family of 9 and we are on a 20-acre homestead in the Ozarks of Missouri. It is not finished. We are still working on building this homestead totally debt-free from scratch. So as far as how we eat, we are working on eating more and more off the land, but we still have a long way to go, so we still end up getting a lot of things from the store, from the grocery store at this point. We do use Costco now. We order from Azure Standard. I use Vitacost online, and then a few other online sources just once in a while. We still do get a few items at Walmart and then our local natural food store. We do not follow any particular diet. We've done GAPS diet in the past to kind of work on some gut issues and heal some immune issues that we've had. But overall, we don't really follow any specific diet or food plan other than we stick to organic, non-GMO. And then, like I said, we're working toward eating more and more like what we would eat if we were just eating what we produce. So we do a lot of eggs, we do plenty of meat, lots of veggies, hey sweetheart, a little bit of fruit, decent amount of healthy fats. We use raw honey as our main sweetener, and I also use a little bit of stevia. So yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so normally I don't have a huge appetite first thing in the morning, and I'll end up asking one of the children what they want for breakfast. But this morning, for some reason, I was rather hungry, and the first thing that came to mind was breakfast sandwiches, which we have not had in a very long time. I had not prepared a loaf of bread. Right now I'm doing a lot of sourdough einkorn, and that takes hours. And so I decided to just come up with those geese are so loud. I decided to experiment with a just quick bread, no yeast. I did use a little bit of our sourdough starter and some baking soda, some eggs, just a very quick, easy bread that you can use for sandwiches. And I ended up actually making a little bit too much. I don't use recipes, and so I'm always just kind of experimenting. So I had enough batter to make about a medium-sized loaf plus a little extra. So I ended up altering the recipe for you guys so that it will equal about 1 medium-sized loaf of bread. So here is that recipe. And you can also check the show notes below for the written recipe if you would like. So this loaf of bread is a bit different than your typical bread that you would buy in the store. It is different from sourdough as well. It's kind of a hybrid. And so it is a little bit more crumbly, but I'm really thankful it held together well enough for sandwiches. When you actually make it and get ready to dump it into your loaf pan, don't be surprised, it's almost like a cake batter or pancake batter. It's not going to be your dry dough ball that you can fiddle around with and knead into a dough ball. I just lined a pan with parchment paper to make it easier to get out, and you pretty much just pour the batter into your pan. And there's no need to let it sit and rise. It can just go straight into the oven. You're going to want to have it a pretty hot oven, 350 at least. 400 would probably be better. And then you're just going to bake it until it is nice and golden brown on the top. So depending on what temperature, how your oven works, mine is a cook stove, and it's temperatures are all over the place with mine, so I have to just kind of guess. But if you're uncertain if it's finished or not, you can always pull it out of the oven, lift it out using the parchment paper, lift it out, and then check the very center bottom. If it is nice and firm and not squishy, then it should be good to go. Otherwise, pop it back in the oven for a little bit longer. So for our breakfast sandwiches this morning, we just buttered the bread a little bit. We had fried eggs, turkey bacon, and cheese. For the turkey bacon, I like to add a little bit of butter or oil while I'm frying those because they don't have a lot of fat. And then I add plenty of salt and pepper to them as well. The cheese we use is not our favorite cheese, but it's what's available at Costco. So it's kind of our second favorite, third favorite maybe. Carrie Gold Dubliner cheese. And then we also had some Brussels sprouts on the side because we try and get veggies with every meal in some way, shape, or form if we can. A couple of people toasted their sandwiches, but most just had the sandwiches with the bread fresh from the oven, nice and soft, and that worked well too. You're welcome. Enjoy.
Like that.
Good morning, Doodle.
Good morning.
Good morning. You ready for some breakfast?
Yeah.
You probably want everything separate instead of in a sandwich, huh?
Yeah.
All right. So, Joseph, what do you think of the sandwich?
It's absolutely delicious.
Oh, good. Hooray.
Mommy.
What's that?
It's nummy.
Is it nummies? She likes the turkey bacon the best.
Hello, bacon. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's
More
it.
bacon?
Yeah. Yeah.
You eat it all?
Oh. Yeah.
Was that so nummy?
Yeah.
How's it, Josh? Oh, I got you with your mouth full. Sorry about that.
Really good.
Good. Alright guys, it's lunchtime now and we're doing a very simple lunch that we do usually once a week. It typically falls on Thursday. It's the day after Kip does his shopping in Springfield, so we have yogurt on hand. I do like to make our own homemade yogurt when we have plenty of milk, but right now our cow is dry, getting ready to calve. So we're just getting our yogurt from the store. This is one of our favorite kinds. We also like brown cow yogurt. That's another brand that's a favorite. There's a lot of great yogurts out there, but we do always get organic and plain, and then we sweeten it with raw honey and usually put some kind of toppings on the top. Today we've got the choice of almond slivers or organic frozen blueberries. However, the blueberries have been sitting out for a little bit, so they're not quite frozen anymore. But anyway, super simple lunch that we usually do once a week, and everyone really seems to enjoy this lunch. Is that good, Diddle? Is that one of your favorite lunches? And then for those who don't get filled up with the yogurt, today we're also going to have some celery sticks with peanut butter.
Thank you.
You're welcome, honey. Alright, it's now about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so it's time for me to start dinner preparations. Esther is out in the garden. She's got the 2 little ones out there helping her, working her part of the garden. They're having a lot of fun. So this is a perfect opportunity for me to figure out dinner and get going on it. We a couple days ago butchered a couple extra roosters that we had, and so with the leftover meat and with the broth that I made, I'm going to make a soup tonight. Typically my soups are pretty much the same. I just use the broth from the chickens, add in some vegetables. Sometimes I'll put rice or lentils, sometimes potatoes. This time I thought I might try something a little bit different. I haven't done curry in a really long time, so I'm thinking of making some kind of a chicken curry, and I might even do something I've never done before, and that's use some creamy tomato soup along with the broth to help make it even more creamy and thick. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to put in this soup. I'm just going to start throwing things in, and I will try and show you each step along the way. Alright, so I got some red lentils soaking and rinsing here. I probably should have done this last night, but I didn't, so they're not going to have a very long soak, but at least they'll be well rinsed. Alright, I got the broth all strained, and I'm just going to keep it on the stove to stay warm as I add things to it. The girls are back in from the garden, so they are helping to pick off the leftover meat from the roosters. Thanks, girls.
Welcome.
You gonna help, Abby?
Yep.
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 Roosters can be a bit tough, and we actually didn't have quite enough time to soak or rest the meat before cooking it. So last night I pretty much just cut the breast meat off for our dinner. I left the rest of it in the pot and left it on our cook stove overnight so that it just simmered and cooked, and now it's really nice and tender and easy to get off the bones. Alright, Esther and I talked it over, and in addition to the chicken and the lentils, we're going to do some sweet potatoes from last summer's garden, some onion, a few carrots, and then she suggested just start with half of a thing of tomato soup and see how that tastes first, and then we'll go from there. For seasonings, I don't think I'm going to need salt because the broth is really salty and strong. I might actually have to add a little water as well. But I think we'll do some turmeric, cumin, maybe a little bit of ginger, some black pepper, onion, and garlic. I think that'll hopefully make it sort of like a curry. I don't really have a curry mixture. I'm allergic to peppers or any spices made from peppers, so I usually don't do the pre-made mixes of curry anyway. What are you doing? Did you get a piece of fat?
Yep.
Yep.
You put it in your mouth, you quickly spit it out.
Yes. We're not big fans of the fat. I know some people love the fat and eat the fat of meat and really feel like it's super healthy, but our family has never liked the fat of meat. So we're a little bit picky in that way. She is just chowing down on this meat. Alright guys, everything in the soup is pretty well cooked through. I'm going to add about half of the creamy tomato soup to it to start with, and I'll add the spices and taste it and see what we need. I really don't have any measurements on the spices. I'm just going to sprinkle and taste, sprinkle and taste. Alright guys, the soup is ready. I ended up adding just what I said I was going to. I added some turmeric, cumin, a little bit of ginger, some garlic, black pepper, and just a tiny bit of salt. It didn't need much more salt. I am actually out of cinnamon and clove right now, or I would have added those too as well. And I did put a little bit more of the creamy tomato soup in, but not the whole container. I think we're ready to go. We're gonna have some organic harvest. Can I say that? What are we gonna have with our soup tonight, Biddle?
Organic peas.
Right, these harvest snaps. They're fairly healthy. Not the best, but not too bad. You get those from Costco, huh?
Yeah.
You like those. You ready to eat, Nadie?
Yep.
Alright, let's dish up. Alright guys, we're gonna enjoy this meal together. Thanks again for watching. Hope you all are staying well. We pray blessings over you and yours. And whatever you do,
Do it with your whole heart.
that's right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're going for the snaps first of all, huh? That's a good way to do it because the soup is very hot.